So you said you got COVID, so hopefully you come out of that all right.
Yeah, I think I will finish my quarantine tomorrow. Not sure. I'm still coughing. Little bit.
Yeah, well, hopefully it all comes out good. Everyone has different kind of reactions to it and all of that. So lung capacity and stuff like that. So maybe just walking, not jogging and running, Jerry.
Thank you.
It's important. I mean, that's something very personal. So obviously, COVID's still out there around the world. So wish people the best. Try and help them along. Sometimes you might have to help them with their daily exercise, all those kinds of things. But it's been a really big week. A massive week, really, where it's been not as much events happening outside of like new additions and stuff. But we've had some big adjustments to GST, GMT mechanics this week, and I know from talking in the community and stuff, they just need a little bit of a explanation from the push to GMT. You and we spoke about it this morning. Like you said, we actually managed to get breakfast this morning in Adelaide before my partner and I flew back out, and we talked a little bit about it today. But it's been like people are stressed about it, but I mean, have a bit of a listen, chill out. The team has talked about this over several times, that if they need to adjust the tokenomics and bring things to the GMT usage, that is going to happen. So it was 2 changes in the week, 40% and then 60% of the mint mechanics. But did you want to touch base on that a little bit, Jorn, and just give us a little bit of information to calm the masses?
Okay, sure. So we wanted to create an app that lasts many years, and to achieve that, to have a good starting is very important. And what we find is a rapid appreciation on the GST price is not really sustainable. So we have been looking at the chart, and we got very worried, because this is exactly happened to many GameFi and many other projects before, that the price going up uncontrollably, and eventually will trigger the cascade effect, and then apparently this is so-called the death spiral everybody talk about. So we feel strongly obligated to do a few things. One is there are many users have been stopped because of the high floor price, and this is actually slow down the adoptions. And without the new user, we will not be able to sustain the growth, and we will have the loss of opportunities, because when new users stop coming and they turn their way back, they might not look back, right? So we need to find an effective way to manage new user to come in systematically. So that's one of the reasons we have activation code. And also, we're looking at the floor price, and we say we need to do something about it. So, start from a couple of days ago, we're starting to add GMT into the equation, so that we want to bring down the cost, because GMT is about half price of the GS at the time. So, effectively, have less cost for people to mint. Effectively encourage people to mint new sneakers and sell on secondary market. And we observed that for 1 to 2 days, and it seems not really effective. And we changed the number again, and again not effective, which comes down to the conclusion that we have to remove the GST out of the equation to allow, 1, dropping the cost of the sneaker minting, and 2, having a higher chance to have a twin, basically to increase the sneaker supply and effectively bring down the cost of entry. And 3, that the pump of the GST price seems already unnatural, and we need to be very careful of not follow what happened to many other projects before. And for that particularly 3 reasons, and 1 reason I'm going to talk about maybe in the next time, we have to make the change. And also, we want to make sure that the change is done right. That we will have 3 steps, normally what we do. 1 is that we are constantly looking at different status of the app with the burn and mint rate, GST and GMT performance, and also sneaker supply as well, demand and supply. And we need to make rapid decisions. And many people basically asking why the community hasn't been notified. But with decision making, they come in several stages. One is that when we're looking at the different aspect of the app performance, we notice something that concerns us. And we were starting to do feasibility studies of how can we effectively resolve this issue. And this involved technical feasibilities and also with marketing and also community management. And we're looking at how severe the situation is. And in these cases, it's pretty severe, which we cannot allow the 40 hours of notification to the community and then roll it out. It will be too late. So we have to bear the risk, and we're going to need to roll out. And we did that 2 times. And with the 3rd time, and we have to also run the data modeling as well to make sure that what's going to happen after will be exactly what we planned. So with the data modeling result we're happy with, we then roll out the minting with basically triple twin opportunities plus only GMT cost. And that will also set us on the faster track with the total GMT burn effectively contribute to the gate open of Anchorage, which is the earning of the GMT. So
yes, I was definitely curious about that, whether the figures through the current mint process were going to be added towards it.
So yes, we basically have to make decisions like this in a very timely manner and to effectively bring the balance back, because we always believe that there is a balance, and without the proper balance, we will come with bad repercussion down the track. So although I know that the community are not happy and basically calling this is not Web3, but this has to be done. And we do it for the best interest of the project and for the best interest of the players.
So it's important for the community to think back to when was the last time we had a stable figure of GST. So the team is saying right there, Jorn and Jerry, that they're saying they're not trying to set a price for it, but it almost hit $10. So it was $9.50, it spiked 40%, it still wasn't coming down. GMT was sitting solid, and $3.40 was about where it was stable last time, and we've had things up until the initial twin mint last time. That's where it kind of all got crazy, didn't it, Jorn? Once we had that double percentage twin mint, and then of course we couldn't take out money out of our spendings. And I think that also happened this time as well, didn't it? That was one of the things that factored in, then Coinbase taking on GST, GMT. It's all kind of been like that perfect storm of ways to force the coin up.
I think there are many factors that come in play. I wish I can talk about more of it, but we will have maybe a separate pop-up AMA to discuss different other factors that made us to the conclusion of this special event, because this is something that we have to do on yesterday, with multiple level of consideration. So we believe that will bring balance and serve the best interest of the longevity of the app.
Yeah, so even if you're looking at what you're earning in a day for everybody listening in, it's hard for people that might have bought NFTs somewhere 17 to 20 Solana off the floor. And it's hard, and we've talked about this even last week in Jogging with Barndog, about you can never really be sure of are you buying at the top or are you buying at the bottom. But the daily earnings are still there. You can still earn GST every single day from that one NFT and start working towards paying it off and getting that moving to earn and starting to get fit and healthy and moving that along. But that's good. I'm glad we touched on that first. I think that was pretty much the number one topic of the week, even though we've had some pretty cool things happen through the week with live events. So obviously I just got back into Cairns, Queensland, and we had a live event last night in Adelaide, and it was really cool fun. So we had 120 people live. There are photos and videos and stuff on sorry, not on YouTube yet that I'm aware of. I'm thinking Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook was where I was thinking. We've seen some really cool photos. So we had a little bit of rain, but pretty much everyone that was there still continued to run and jog and go around the park. I think a few people were surprised that the old barn dog could actually run, and we had a lot of people from Australia turn up. So Jorn, that was the first proper live event for us as a community in Australia. Obviously, we did have 2 events sponsored by STEPN last year. It was November, I believe those events were. How do you think that all went for the community?
I think it's very cool, actually, and we have a pretty good time. With the food and the warm up and the rain, especially that people have to run in the rain, and for that reason, actually give 2 extra Genesis sneakers.
Yeah, 3 Genesis NFT sneakers, and for people there, anyone in crowd, 3 of us picked prizes out. Jorn, Jason, and myself picked prizes out. And my niece, I flew my niece across from Western Australia to catch up because I haven't been able to visit her for her birthday. And I picked her ticket out of the box. Unfortunately, I couldn't give that to her, and it did go to another lucky gentleman on the night. We actually managed to have a beer later in the night afterwards and had a bit of a laugh about it. So, I mean, it's gone to a deserving home. It's gone to someone that's going to absolutely enjoy it. And for the niece, she's just going to have to enjoy her uncle's good company. But it was really cool. There was a vendor event there. We had the Vietnamese sandwiches and water and drink for 1 GST, and at the end they donated the remainder of the leftover food, so everybody got fed as well. And then there was 20 or 30 of us went across the pub and continued to talk shop, talk STEPN, and just have a bit of a good time. So they had a live band on that as well. And I did see 1 photo so far. I'm trying to look at a few more for the event in Wales with Andrew, so hopefully we hear a bit about that. Maybe Monday we might talk about that. But we're starting to kick into more and more live events now, Jorn. So how does the team kind of feel about the events coming up? Because obviously Japan had one. We're talking about potentially Korea. We're going to have some in Europe as well, obviously with myself going to Athens, and then France. The Crit is working super hard to get that sorted.
Yes, and I think this is actually heading to where we want it to be. Have people meet offline and to form a friendship, and have the sneaker become their social identity and also social graph proof, so that wearing the sneakers become something that they can be part of, especially to their local communities.
You can actually see photos for the UK one is on the Twitter, on the live Twitter, on our local STEPN Twitter, and yeah, it's good. It's really cool. So towards the social element of it, and it's people getting around and getting outside and having a laugh and stuff. And I was surprised to see so many people flew from around Australia actually just to have a bit of fun and talk about the game and participate. And I think there was 1 person in the crowd of 120 that didn't have any NFTs. So did you expect that kind of number, Jorn? Did you expect it to be all crypto and all in STEPN already?
Yeah, I mean, it's good number. I mean, especially good number for the first event, and especially good number for a city like Adelaide. I mean, I will be disappointed if this is Sydney, but I'm pretty impressed that we have 120 people show up in Adelaide.
Sydney is next. Sydney is next for people listening in. We are trying to look at the dates. What was it? Something like the 10th of June, most likely. Just as a rough date, so don't lock that in yet. We're not going to put up a flyer for it, but we are thinking of. There's a long weekend in June, Jerry. So hopefully you've got that weekend off, sir.
Yeah, sure, of course.
And detoxed and no more corona by that stage. That'll be good. We'll have to get you out for a beer.
Yeah, then you'll find I'm running faster than yours. No way.
Oh, the challenge is out. I like it, lads. A bit of competition. So Jorn was actually doing laps while we were at the park setting up to start off with. I think he was checking out to see who was there and what was going on. So he was getting his energy spent before we even started the event. So what else through the week has been happening then, Jorn? What are the big ups and downs for the week we've had?
It's relatively quite weak. We roll out some minor improvement on the app and basically continue to work on solving the transaction issues with the transaction being dropped off. We have to find better solutions, and and also Binance actually and several other exchanges stopped Solana withdrawal, SPL token withdrawal. That's also difficult, but understandable that the network is starting to get a little bit of a degrade recently. So we try to deploy multiple solutions to ensure that people's transaction, if drop off, will be resubmitted. And also we deployed a dynamic node system that if one node gets really congested, we jump to the next one. You get congested, next one. So we don't, so that the transaction can be processed relatively quickly. And also batch different mintings and transactions, ensuring that the whole experience goes smoother within what we can do on Solana. So there's many hurdles that we have to overcome to make sure that people make the transaction will get their token or asset in timely manner. So it is actually much difficult versus just to say it. So we are actually working really hard for this week before we roll out anything else, because I think at one point 80% of the transactions got dropped off from Solana. So we need to implement a better mechanics there to constantly improve it. I think there was several little bit of congestions over the week, but I tried the transaction this morning has been quite smoothly.
There's always lots happening on Solana. So we did have this question asked a couple of weeks ago, but then if we're having the trouble with Solana as well, how are we going to manage to handle 500,000 users on the Solana blockchain?
So this is two things. One, we'll have to be smarter on this. And Solana is not sitting there just wait to be, overcome by other layer one. Solana is also constantly finding solutions. And there are a couple of solutions at the moment to resolve this issue. So primarily the issue is the transaction got dropped off. And we have to sort of, we are now talking to Solana teams basically, and to work together to find a better solution. So nothing stay input forever. So I do believe this is just a temporary issue. When we can resolve it, the transaction speed and the whole network will get better and better. Because again, Solana is also in beta, so there are things that we can do to improve it to the next level.
Awesome. Now another one, I've seen it raised a couple of times already in the questions channel. BSC, obviously we know the price of sneakers were 4 times the price of commons earlier today when I was looking. And we did talk last week about this, but we'll just go over that again a little bit, Johan, if we can. Obviously we are starting to come into May, and that's on the team's hit list is to do something there. So can we talk any more about that, or did you just want to go over what you mentioned last week?
With the BSC?
Yeah, so obviously,
yes.
We're looking at 16.5 Binance. BNB was the price I saw this morning. So that's, Solana, it was too high, let alone there, it's 4 times that. So have we got any more information on what's happening there, or we need to announce that through Binance?
Okay, so we are working on several solutions on the sneaker supplies on the BSC or BNB chain. And then I think the suddenly pump on the GSC sort of interrupt that process, and we have to stop everything and then deal with that. So I think we are now in a very good position with the GSC and GMT performance, and we will be bringing back the GSC consumptions on the true meetings. And I think as of tonight, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back to 50%, and then we'll continue to run the double triple chance of double mint up until when we are satisfied with the sneaker supply. And going back to the question of the BSC chain, we will starting with some marketing campaigns. It's supposed to be this week, but certainly got interrupted with several more urgent issues. So we'll resume the BSC planning on the marketing side to bring more supplies, sneaker supplies, and find the better solutions for actually get people onboarding on the BSC, because that was actually one solution. When the Solana chain got congested, people can switch to the BSC and utilize their full energy over there. So get people some BSC sneakers in a very I shouldn't say this. Right. Forget what I said, and we're still planning that.
Yeah, so obviously, and sorry, someone did just ask, GST should be the main thing for tonight. We have actually talked about the GST at the start, but I'll just go over Yorn. You said tonight we're swapping back to 50-50 for GST and GMT for the minting, yeah?
Yeah.
And we didn't have a close time on the twins, or was that a week you said for that?
The twins, as we made an announcement, because this is actually a sort of pop-up activity, we never sort of really planned for this. We were planning something else, and then with this crazy pump on the GST price, I think the plan changed a little bit, and we will run the triple chance of double mint until we see the floor price on sneaker is stabilized and healthy, and then we'll move on to the marketing event we wanted to roll out.
Very cool, very cool. So, I mean, and this is something that we've spoken about many times in the past, where you've said there are many things the team can implement to bring things back under control if they go spiraling out of control and too expensive for people to get in.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got plenty of questions starting in the stage. Would you like to go over anything else, or we'll just start straight into the questions?
Yeah, we can go straight into the questions.
Because I did have one person asked to come on stage, but he's had an emergency come up, so he'll be out tonight. But let's get into them. So, obviously a few questions at the start, very basic ones. GST, GMT. And then, so let's, I guess, with the GMT and the burn mechanics of what we're doing now with the minting and that, do we have a expectation on the burning bar on when we're going to get that for the opening event?
I think the burning bar will be set in the last stage, and so once we roll out the 10 use cases, and potentially we have another one with the hidden use cases, we're probably going to talk about that in maybe a special sort of AMA. Then we have the progress bar, and then people will see how much GMT has been burned and how much more they need to be burned and actually earn the GMT.
Just writing some of this down. You want extra hidden special GMT use case.
Yeah, very secret.
Hashtag stop guilds from entering. So obviously that leads me into another question there actually. Wednesday we had a Twitter space and we had one of the DAOs jump in with Jason and I. And we know we've had MarsDAO on before, how they had their big rare sneaker, and it was capping out GST earnings in 12.0 energy, and that was a DAO sneaker, so managed. That has changed slightly as of recently, has it not, Yorn? So to be able to use and swap the access to a sneaker account, is that now against terms of service?
For all these, people get a lot of confusions, and I think it is important to make some form of clarifications. So I think in the law there was some form of code like good behaviors, right? So like good neighbors law, right? So I think that's in the common law. So with the good neighbor law, what it means is that you want to treat somebody as if they are your good neighbors. So meaning that you do not want to harm them in any way or have any bad intentions. So this good neighbor law also applies to what we are now, because the game is rapidly evolving and the mechanic has been added. What people believe that they should do to be acting as a good neighbor? Well, primarily, roughly on what is the good standing or what is allowed. And if you reckon that a certain behavior will cause unexpected repercussions, then stop doing that. Because I, for one, do believe with law, you also come with reinforcement. And a law without reinforcement will get break. And with break, you get into this like, the broken window sort of effect. If one window is broken with nobody taking care of it, all the windows are going to get broken. So this is just human nature. Like, if there's no law, no reinforcement to the law, that's effectively what will happen. So that's the reason I sometimes say, oh, this is allowed, this is not, because we haven't implemented the mechanics to effectively prevent certain behaviors. So I can talk about, say, oh, this is not allowed, and then people break the law without repercussion. And then they will keep breaking that because they know that they not get punished. So I would like to call, once we have a proper reinforcement of the rule we set, then that rule become the rules because it's reinforceable. And I want people to understand that one, if you behave like a good neighbor, you'll be fine. And two, we will roll out various of reinforcement to the rule we set to make sure that it is reinforceable. But before that, doesn't matter how I say, it really doesn't affect the perpetrators. You only bound the people with a higher moral standard. And for that, it's not fair. So we will do at our own pace in this. And we will let the community know when the rule gets changed, meaning that when reinforcement is in place.
Okay. Next question. It's a simple one here, actually, with GMT. Is it a governance token or a utility token? We don't really go over this too much. Obviously, it is a governance token, but you are giving it heavy use cases of utility. So okay. How do you want to tackle that one, Jon?
Yeah. People have to understand that with GMT use cases, we are planned in three parts. And we are on the 50% of the part A. And when the governance is coming in a later stage. So this got me thinking a lot. I think I mentioned that to Brown as well, that why and how can we do governance on Web3? So far, we see governance has been really bad with DAO structures. The involvement rate is low, and you can only vote for like very simple stuff, and nobody seems to be care. And that got me thinking, we should have a proper and better or new way to governance, a new way to run the DAO. And we certainly want to run social experiment on that. And I throw some good ideas, I think, but I'm rather not to share it now because it's still sort of premature to share it. But once we come up with a better version of how to run a DAO with the GMT token, then I think the GMT token will have a governance sort of use cases.
Yeah, so I kind of explain it as it's both. In the end, it is a GMT with utility at the same time. So obviously, being 6 billion tokens, that's going to make a great sustainable economy, isn't it? Really, in the end.
So because the GMT will serve two purposes, maybe three. One, you hold it, one, you use it, and one, you burn it. And we will roll out different stage for different purposes at different time.
Right, let's welcome on stage Hold for Life. He's been in before, one of our great mind thinkers for the game all round. And he touched base with me last week, but he couldn't make last week. And he had something he was going to mention, and I still haven't actually got it from him. But Hold for Life, welcome to stage, dude.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. So I do have two quick questions. One of them popped up just yesterday that I want to touch on real quick. It's related to Binance. I actually jumped on board on Binance yesterday, bought a couple shoes, and I'm getting ready to mint over there, which is exciting. So I did notice, though, that when I was swapping my tokens, there's an option to select slippage over there. And I'm wondering if part of the Solana problem is not having that option to select a higher slippage because of the volatile token prices lately. I was trying to swap yesterday and it was a nightmare. I finally got it done, but had to try multiple times. And I'm wondering if it's a slippage issue instead of maybe a Solana network issue. Is there any plans to bring some sort of slippage option on the Solana chain as well? And do you think that will help with that?
The slippage, that's to do with the swap you did, and that's to do with the liquidity of the token rather than the Solana chain. So Solana, the issue with Solana is it doesn't have a fee structure, which means that unlike a EVM, which, for example, that you have you can pay higher fees to get your transaction process faster, and that's non-existent on Solana. So you sort of either you get your transaction packed or not.
Okay, understood.
And
Perfect.
then
Thank
you
you.
stuck in the limbo for a while, then it drop out. Yeah, that's the issue.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
if Solana can introduce like a fee structure, fee market, then this issue will be resolved quite quickly.
I see. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then, so my main question was, I've been thinking a lot about GMT mechanics lately, and I heard something this last week about the team deciding to go with a 5-minute time interval for payments, which is cool, because I know initially you had mentioned about maybe 2 minutes or longer. So my concern, though, is that that might introduce the possibility for people to game the mechanics, and I don't know how much you can release on that right now, but we all know in GST earnings, there's a way where if you have 0.1 energy, you can use that and you'll still earn the full benefit of having a 0.2 energy. So my thinking is, depending on how you structure this, is it going to continue to tick down the 0.2s every minute and then you get the payment on the 5th minute? Or is it going to be time-based where every 5 minutes of the hour it's going to pay out and whoever's running during that time is going to get it? Because that could involve issues where people run for the last minute and they get the full GST or the GMT payment. And so it just introduces a lot of things that can be gamed, and I wanted to bring that up before it was implemented to see if you guys are thinking about those issues and what you have to solve them.
Okay, so we designed the GMT earning in a way, a lot of references was made to the Bitcoin minings. And with Bitcoin mining, you have a difficult bound issue, which means that either you lucky get maybe 2.5 Bitcoins for now, if you solving the puzzle first. But that is extremely rare occasions, probably 1 in 100 million. So people are putting the miner together in a mining pool, which they mine together, and then the profit are shared among all the users, all the miners. This is the same case that when we using the random number, we run the data modelings, we discover that the earning could be really volatile. right? So you can earn a lot in this minute and not so much in the next minute, and then maybe average out in the third minute, and then again nothing in the fourth, maybe something in the fifth. So this might not be really friendly if people are settled on every minute, just like the GST, because you either get something or not. You know, people will feel really frustrated if they didn't get anything for that particular minute, or if they have to stop after they got nothing. You know, you get that level of frustrations. So to resolve this and still retain the Bitcoin mining sort of mechanic, then we are changing. We settle every 5 minutes, but we still calculate on per minute basis. But because we found out once we even out with 5 minutes interval, the earnings roughly sort of break even on every minute. So it's more back to what is supposed to be on the equilibrium of how supposed you should earn.
Okay, and so the energy countdown will remain the same, where every minute it'll tick down a 0.2. You just won't get a payment until the full 1 energy is spent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's made purely to have a better user experience.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because, like I said, if you you did it where we had to run for 5 minutes before we even have an energy tick, that could be an issue. So I'll just play around with it when it comes out and see myself. But like I said, I just wanted to mention that just to make sure that, obviously you guys are thinking ahead, but us gamers like to tinker around with things. So I appreciate your response on that.
No worries.
Thank you, guys.
Sounds like we're doing jogging with Hold for Life tonight. How you going? Are you out with the young fella?
Yeah.
Your son?
Yeah, he's here with me.
I love it, dude. I love it. Cheers for the questions.
Your morning walks. So, yeah, thank you, guys. Love the project.
Thank you.
So I just want to mention something while we're talking here. So this is a good point to come back to why we can't announce things on AMAs, and the team, can't. GST's up 50 cents since we started the AMA. So it's interesting why everyone's kind of asking, why aren't we told these things? Why aren't we told these things? It's hard for the team to make announcements, isn't it, if that's going to affect token prices, John?
Yes. So if we make an announcement, exactly see what happened now. So we have to be really conservative of what we say and also what we do, and we also have to react very quickly of what we do as well. So to make sure that everything is, the balance restored, and with less opportunity for people to do funny stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, keep in mind this is crypto. This is blockchain. This is people can short coins, long coins. Do all kinds of crazy things based to speculate on the game. It's not always everybody playing the game. So, GST is a utility coin. People don't need it. They don't need to speculate on it, yet they will because they can. Well, I just wanted to come back to BSC. We did have a question through the week on Jogging with Barndog. One of the gentlemen asked us, why are we using USDC on the BSC chain when obviously the mother stablecoin is BUSD? Is there a possibility we could change that down the track?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, because we want to keep the consistency for USDC on Solana, USDC on BNB chain. So they rebranded from BIC to BNB chain. Yeah, go ahead.
It makes one more thing they don't have to do, because then otherwise being on BSC they have to change it back to BUSD to then utilise it within the local chain and get rewards from staking and all that kind of stuff.
Actually, this is actually a good point that I'm going to talk with the team. I mean, it is of which type of USD we're going to use on BNB chain. I think we will continue to do some tweak and minor change on the BNB chain. This might be one of them, but let me talk with the teams and see does the change make sense.
Very cool, very cool. We haven't mentioned Trailblazers for 1 or 2 weeks, so obviously it was meant to be out in this month, but we had delays now with other problems and getting the servers fixed up and the nodes and that yawn. So do we have a rough estimation? There's a lot of questions regarding Trailblazers, of course.
Yeah, so again, we have a little bit of a setback on, with this, special event. We we should expect to see the update coming up to increase your GST cap, and as fast as possible, we will roll out the triple earning after that. So it's still very much on the pipeline. It's just that a little bit of setback for the triple double mint event. And so when this activity is out, finished, we'll roll out the next patch update, and then the trailblazer.
And do we have any alpha on the second use case that's coming with the GST drop? So we know that we're going to do 2 every 2 weeks. That was the plan. Do we have any alpha on what the second one is going to be?
The second one, I haven't checked with the dev team on this actually, so I need to double check on that with the GST earning cap, and there must be something else. I probably will mention that. You don't have to be mentioned that. I think, people will see for the next update. But I'll probably stick around to answer a few questions, and I probably can find out and drop the answer there.
Oof, I like it. I did try on the crowd, but if you hang around and keep poking and prodding you on, you might be able to give that alpha. So I guess maybe the team might be thinking of doing gems, the gem minting, and that was just to speculate on maybe trying to adjust, get those leftover gems that were left behind at cheap rates, because if we get people might then go crazy with minting. But good. Let's keep going. So 50%. Did you want to go over any? Was there any? Oh no, we'll leave that question. So we've already answered the question with the unnatural pump of the GST and the different cases for it. How many BNB do we need to make transactions in the BSC in the app? So I don't know whether you've used it, and I have. It's very low. The transactions. It's still very low. I can't give you an exact. Could load up my app, but it is very cheap. So Binance, generally speaking, is around 15 cents to 35 cents normally for other games. So it is expensive when you compare it to Solana, but it is still quite a cheap blockchain to work on. Right, so obviously there's questions a couple of times here now. What kind of price is the team looking for GST? You're not really looking on a specific price, are you? You're not trying to set a price.
No. This is a trap. No, I'm not going to answer that question. But it's important for us to constantly balance the token and sneaker supplies in the app. So, and also the influx of the people. We don't want to open the floodgate and everybody get a single high price and people just dump in token and then cause a whole grave happen. So it's a very delicate sort of work, and we have to use mathematical method to direct us. So short-term price is not what we're looking for. I mean, I can say anything like a GST to the moon, something like that, but what we really want is to have the balance in the app.
Another question here. Are ASIC sneakers considered Genesis sneakers?
Yes.
So as in same as the first 10,000, I think that's alluding to?
Yes, that's the first 10,000 on the BNB chain. Us, we have the 1 to 10,000 on Solana. Naturally, the 10,001 to 20,000, 20,000 is on the BNB.
Oh, there's a bit of alpha within that answer there. Jerry's cringing. So there was a question regarding the Schadenfreude pool, and when we stake the GMT, when we use GMT, is it staked or is it a burn case?
Burn.
Comfort obviously is to earn GMT. Sorry, just elaborating there. So obviously, Schroeder-brained, I'm not sure whether you've come in early or late to the AMA, so this isn't a permanent change for minting, and it was announced tonight that we'll be going to a 50-50 later on tonight. Event hasn't been listed for an end time at the moment. The dev team questions since we've been talking, and I'm still going through the questions here now. Really just saying, can we get these events listed? But I mean, the event that we're doing and the twin minting, like you're saying, is to get the sneakers and control things. And it's really the team just has to make that judgment call, don't they, Ewan? It's like you're saying, you need to make those decisive decisions.
Yeah, so we're constantly looking at the overall health of the ecosystem. And when we see that we're out of balance, we have to restore the balance. And we do that by every hour.
It's funny seeing the different, like a lot of the community is talking specifically about this GST and GMT, and that's to be expected. They've been talking about it for the last few days, and I don't know, like obviously we had a very hard hitting week last week, and we answered the questions there. Is after Monday I saw it, and it was a really interesting event to watch. The tokenomics the whole time during the last 4 or 5 months has been interesting, and it didn't make sense on Monday when we knocked 40% off the GST and put it onto GMT, and GMT just didn't move, and GST still kept going up. So definitely for people looking around, it's already been said tonight, but people are still asking the same sort of questions. But the team needs to make sure that the GST doesn't go to an unsustainable level.
I mean, we always expect there's something funny going on behind the scene over there, and we have to really react to make sure that, you know, as less as possible, people not get burned by this high price. And yeah, so also it'd be good to contribute to GMT burning. Yeah, for the last couple of days, and the burn has been outstanding.
Sorry, there is a bit of delay. There's a lot of questions that are coming that are very, very similar and based on this. What's the general thoughts then? Does the team monitor Yawn with the it's been the event with the twins? We've noticed now the floors come down on, I think, commons and rares from me looking at it a little bit today at the airport, and epics have come down. Obviously there's only 4 or something on the marketplace anyway, but is that considered? Where is it? Does the team judge possibility of consideration of it being successful? We saw floor for around 12 Solana for commons for a long time. So is that where the team kind of thinks that you would want to get back to that and be stable and happy with that to continue along at that price with the original GST daily earnings?
I think the price, even on the less important sort of aspect, is more on how many sneakers has been cleared every day to accommodate the user growth. So there will be sort of a lag for the prices to react. So we don't really comment on the prices of sneaker, of which is affordable or not. We're looking at, is there enough sneaker on the market to accommodate the new user growth? Because the old, existing user can mint and never sell it, and that will sort of not really helping the situation. So we do want people to sell it and to profit, and then new people can come in.
What does marketing event mean for BSC?
Yeah. It's mainly, I think, sort of, because really it's very small number of people. It's not decided. No.
Yeah, it's all basically on GST and GMT tonight. It's just for everyone in the crowd, if new questions coming in, we'll just try to go away from the GST and GMT prices if we can. It would be good to see other things. We did have one asked about the delays here. We've had some coin coming in and out of wallets and spendings one way or the other, being 3 or 4 days. That's all to do with the nodes and stuff like that. Yes, we're going to see a bit of a change on that.
We have already deployed the drop-off transactions will be resent exactly an hour later. If it's not been processed, I will be resent an hour later, so it will be automated resending up until when the transaction gets successfully packed.
Alright, we've got a question there regarding rentals, but we know that's about September onwards. Still all about this. Alright. Just, are there any questions from the crowd that are level 20 or above in Discord? If so, please get a hold of me in Leak Chat. I'll go through a Leak Chat quickly to see if there are anybody asking. But yeah, I guess a big week for you. The people are talking GST, GMT. Let's try and go away from that. What have we got coming up in the week ahead?
Well, continually upgrade the server, the system, and I think we're going to do that for a while. Still, the transactions has been delayed on process, and I think we can utilize better on jumping around different nodes and adding more nodes. So I think again, we want to enhance the user experience before we moving on like the fancy stuff. So people have to bear with us for maybe another 1 or 2 weeks to fully optimize the backend of the app. And then we can bring out the gem use cases concurrently, basically. So yeah, I mean that's roughly it is. I think we will also focus on more thinking on the governance side of the GMT token, and also focus more on the offline event.
So I'm just going to bring up Ling.eth to stage. Ling.eth, if you can jump on, please. Tavern, thank you, sir. For everybody, make sure we please turn off DMs for spams and invites and things like that. Teams won't message you. We won't DM you. Generally speaking, we also don't need you to privately message us to give you a code. I'm seeing a lot of that on Twitter at the moment. There are a lot of people that are trying to get you to DM them for special codes. They're just going to be giving you spam and stuff like that. So, Ling.eth, welcome to stage 2.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I just wanted to come back to something like I've been asked that many times because I'm sure you've seen the graphs I've done on the mystery boxes, but so the people are hypothesizing that luck has actually an impact on the content of the box. I know that obviously it has an impact on which type of box you're getting, but I wouldn't even know how that would work. But can you just maybe clarify that if actually luck has an impact on what is within each of the boxes, regardless of the quality that you've obtained?
So yes, so both luck and the energy spent will have impact on the qualities, and then the quality will have a random number. It's like when it's exactly like let's say the quality of sneakers, right? You have a range. You have a range of let's say for the common one, let's say you have 1 to 10, for example. So same, each box will have a range of what kind of qualities and numbers of gems you get, and you have to have the luck value and the energy spent enough to the point where you get that box and that box and that different quality of box.
Yeah, my question is more, once imagine you've got your box already. You have a level 2 box. Once you have your box, if you have more luck, is there a better chance to get better gems in that box? Or once you have your box, it's really the box is determining the odds of what gems you have in it, regardless of the luck of your shoe now?
For that part of information, even the data modeling team wouldn't allow to tell me. So in case that I accidentally say it, and I tend to accidentally say a lot of stuff. So I think, again, like what we said in many of the AMA before, that we want the player to figure it out. I think with enough data point that people eventually can figure it out. And actually, the reason that we don't disclose it, again, is like what we did with the gem buff. And for situation that we feel we need to make some minor changes on the gem or the content, we can certainly change it and adding more, for example. So that is something that for us to consider, and to have a very exact percentage and everything very transparent. That actually sort of reduce the fun out of it, and they become a number game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking, say, Barn Dog, he's got now a shoe with almost 400 luck.
Almost 500. Yeah. So I can answer your question, Ling.eth. I noticed a scalable difference between 70 to 140. So yeah, you do see some numbers. I can even show the graph if you haven't seen my graph spreadsheet. So there are tools in the crowd. I know Crit's got one, the French ambassador. So I think so. What you're trying to get away from here is they try not to make it so people can do the cookie cutter specs, and they want us to play test it. So I played that 385 luck, and then with the gem changes as of recent, how the awakenings got improved, I've now gone to 481, I think it is, and I'll try and get the next gem if I can. But yeah, I still haven't cracked the level 3 gem, so I haven't found where it is. But even now, at the moment, I'm testing the level 4 mystery boxes with that heightened, increased luck to see if there's a difference there. Because we do know, announced from the team, that you've got a higher chance of getting a level 3 gem from a level 4 and a 5 mystery box.
Yeah. So just to make clear, so that you're telling me that you're seeing, say, within your level 4 boxes, you're seeing a difference in the gems you're getting if you vary the luck that you had on your shoe.
So if you've got a lower luck, you'll get 1 or 2 level 1 gems. If you've got a higher luck, you'll start getting 2 or 3 level 1 gems on top of possibly level 2 gems as well.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thanks.
So before the awakening effect got changed and bumped up, there was more. I was getting 3 level 1 gems consistently in level 3 and level 4 mystery boxes. So I actually personally stopped doing that strategy and just went straight efficiency. And when the awakening got changed, I'd unfortunately sold one of my level 3 blue gems to put that into other items, and then had to go back and buy one. So I've been running it, and I'll update that for people this week. I've got numbers from Adelaide mystery boxes I've been opening. I get to open a level 4 Easter egg mystery box. I'm hoping to actually get 2 out of that, so I can see whether maybe I'm lucky enough to get my first level 3 gem. But it's definitely, there is a definite, as I've noticed, the higher your luck goes, you might start to increase your level 1 gems, how many you get.
I think I just want to provide some maybe valuable information, is that so the epic and legendary mystery box will contain the level 3 gems. It's just a level of different percentage.
Yeah, some people don't know. Some people don't know you on it. You can actually get a level 2 gem in a level 1 mystery box. So I mean, I think you mentioned that on a space as of recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You just get more of a chance of getting that level 2 gem from a level 1 mystery box, from a level 2 mystery box, and again a higher chance from a level 3. So does that help then, Lev?
I think so. Thank you. I'll be definitely doing some stats on that. Thanks.
I've got a spreadsheet to update because, like I said, I stopped it for 4 or 5 days. It might have been 6 or so days. Now I've been playing around with, do I stop my mystery box at level 3? And that's what I've been going, okay, I know at 8 energy I can get a level 3 mystery box, so why would I go to 10 or 12 energy if I'm just still getting the same mystery box? So, you alternate between your 2 types of sneakers, because we know the game is changing and we can play with 2 to 3 different types of sneakers now. And that's where I'm kind of in the middle of how much energy exactly to get a level 3 mystery box or a level 4 mystery box, and what's coming out of that level 4 mystery box. A lot of game testing still do. really actually talk about the coin like this. So that can potentially get you guys in trouble, can it not? With doing these.
Again, people. It is human nature when they see something drop and they say, okay, this is something wrong with it, and they find a target to blame, and we become a target to blame. So, but I don't want people to fall into the trap of the myopia, which is a short sight of thinking, because with these extreme price volatilities, it will not do any good to the longevity of the app. People could be sort of blind for how much they can earn, but they never think of how long they can earn. So we have to really solve that part of the puzzle, is to make sure that the app exists for a very long time. And I've mentioned that for several occasions already, that how long you can earn is the important part, not how much you can earn in short time and then flip the sticker and then move on to the next product. That's what we don't want to see. And certainly that's not type of the user we want to attract.
Yeah, I look, for someone that's been in it since December, and people can, watching my spaces or listening into the Jogging with Barn Dogs and stuff, once you start doing this a month at a time, it really starts to kick into gear, and it changes your lifestyle. And I love the fact that the game isn't based on being a flipping game, and there's lots to unpack. It's not about making a quick buck. Obviously, the returns are good. You can, not financial advice, go and do the research on that. Even people that might have gotten them at a higher rate, if they were buying in from being FOMOing in because everybody else is getting in because there's limited to 2,000 daily activation codes. Of course, you can still get them from other players. Just be careful with that. You never know when you're going to buy at the top. So people buying in through the weekend shouldn't be getting that. No, we won't be removing, Marco, the 2,000 daily codes. Even if at 2,000 daily codes, is that $1 million per year? So we still want to be careful with those codes coming out.
And also, I want to mention that people seem to have this illusion of the Web3 that, it has to be like voted by everybody and decided by everybody. But that's not really how modern, even the democratic election system works. Still have to have local representatives, and you vote for that, or you have a cabinet sort of a structure. So I think it's really not about we control of what can be done, cannot be done in the app, that other players don't have a say of it. It's really about we foster an ecosystem first, and then basically to allow gradually, we talked about this several occasions a couple of months ago, to gradually give the control back, because you have to have people that are really capable and understand how things work, and also responsible, to join the decision-making process. So far, we don't see that, and for that reason, we have to make a lot of decisions on ourselves with the best interest of the long-term evolve of the app. So so I think for people that want to see DAO or the Web3 voting, they're gonna wait for a bit longer. When we can afford of doing that, and we'll do that, but not at the very early stage, which is now.
Yeah, the DAO's an interesting one, and we did talk about that over the last couple of days. And look, I've been in DAOs and other games and DAOs and other projects in decentralized, and it's not that simple. It's not that easy. Generally speaking, people will try to take profit every chance they can, and it's not something that you want to play with straight away. So there are a couple of questions just to finish off here. Gummy keeps asking, is there a new type of shoe going to be released soon? He's asked a few times. Was there some kind of hint at that somewhere?
I think there was some sort of, somebody mentioned have a hiker in one of my AMA, but I told him that I cannot do it because hiker have very limited use cases, and if people open a shoebox, get a hiker, but it lives, in an area that doesn't have a mountain, then that shoe to him have no use.
Yeah,
so we
covered that about elevation so obviously it's hard to put that elevation in. And there was a good one here which I haven't seen before because I didn't listen to the Russian one, but can we get confirmation on multi-accounting for purposes of minting and not running? So I'm guessing that's going to relate to people just having accounts to level up sneakers because we can only level one per account and potentially mint. So is that a common thing? Are we getting accounts that are doing that?
Although that's not the intention for us to design this app, but it certainly helped to alleviate some of the buying pressures. So again, this go back to some of the previous issues say, oh, is multi-account allowed, this is not allowed, this is allowed. We certainly do not want to encourage the multi-account minting behavior, but it's solving our current issues. So again, this type of behavior cannot be say, I'll just spend that, right? It's not always that easy because it's come with good and bad repercussions. So we will have mechanics in the future to resolve the multiple account minting, but certainly not at the moment because that will actually put pressure back on the sneaker supplies. So I think.
So just to clarify that, Jorn, so at the moment it's allowed. I mean, is that what we're going with?
I'd rather not to say it's more like we turn a blind eye on that.
Obviously, we're talking about the good neighbour effect that we were talking about before. So, I mean, this is where it becomes hard, isn't it? Because when people could take advantage and find some kind of bug and niche section to make money, then others may press on it and cause the scab to peel and the wound to become worse. So, I mean, like you're saying, it's helping alleviate and minting more shoes, but how many people are actually benefiting from it? And then is it just specific individuals, or is it whales that are going, well, I can do 100 accounts and do 100 mints that are benefiting? Hard one, isn't it, I guess?
So I think this is, again, during different historical periods, it requires different sort of behaviors, and what is back to what is allowed and not allowed, and or what is the gray zone of what is allowed and not allowed. Looking at many things happen in the history, that's also very prominent. For certain things, you have to turn a blind eye on that up until when it becomes toxic to the system.
Very cool. I reckon we've gone a few minutes over the top tonight. There's still, I think Jorn said he was going to sit behind and answer a few extra questions afterwards. Jerry, any closing comments from you tonight, my man?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
Hopefully you get better soon. Enjoy the last day of your what do you call it? Cohabitation inside a room by yourself with a computer. It sounds like a normal day at work for you, Jerry. You just got to work harder because you're by yourself now. Can't leave the house.
Thank you.
I think we got the quarantine. Oh, yeah, actually, in Sydney, it's already alleviated the quarantine requirement.
Oh, see what? You can just do it at home.
Yeah. I mean, I think even.
Yeah, and do you want to talk more about we may change the minting price time to time to make sure the system is very stable?
Yes, I think, I just need to iterate, and also we put that into the white paper as well, that it is really, I think, best interest for everybody that we constantly watch the cost of minting and also the onboardings and sneaker supplies, and basically to have the app more sort of affordable for the new users and really just bring it to the equilibrium of the supply and demand side. So that requires not only adjusting the cost of mint and also other activities such as double mint. So yes, if we see we need to do this again, and if it's not urgent, we're definitely going to put out a notification. But if it is urgent matter, we have to do it right now. When we have to do it, then we're just gonna roll out maybe a couple hours prior to make
sure that people don't speculate on the price as well.
Alright, so just to clarify on that then, obviously back in the day it used to be 200 GST per sneaker for a common and you halved it. So there's a potential that the team may adjust the minting costs.
Yes, so I mean, overall, the sneaker supply is the foundation of the app, and we have to make the balance. I mean, the price will go up or go down, and we will adjust what we see appropriate to the situation.
Very cool, very cool. So any closing thoughts from you tonight then, Yorn?
I think we talked enough on, our determination to develop the app and make it successful in the long term. And I do hope that everybody are aligned with what we believe, and be supportive, in event of such volatile time, with up and downs. We make decisions, and sometimes it's hard decision, but we still have to make it. I think it's for the best interest of all the users. I think the genuine user. And if people are not happy, I think there will be a gap between what we believe, and if people do not believe in what we're doing, and they are certainly can sell their sneakers and move on to that app.
Yep. So just to clarify that, probably the biggest news tonight that came out was going back to a 50-50 GST GMT for the mint cost.
But we will roll out in the next couple hours.
Yeah, next couple of hours. Very good. So obviously we talked very, very heavily tonight about GST, GMT, the changes through the week. It's hot. A lot of people going on about it, but it's not a project you want to come in to flip to make money for a couple of weeks and get out. It's more than just a crypto earning app. It's a lifestyle app. It's a fitness app. It's so much under one roof. We've actually done live events, and to fly across half the country myself, it was awesome. I really had a great time in Adelaide. It was awesome to meet the team, to meet Yorn, to meet Jason, Tyson, to meet Bryn. All these people that we've been talking about in the spaces, to actually get there, shake their hand, have a beer with them afterwards, and a meal, and talk about the game. And it's completely different. We managed to talk to a lot of the community as well afterwards at the bar, and help people with the game. And we had a bit of a laugh and gave out some great prizes, 3 Genesis sneakers. It was really cool. So more and more events coming around the world, more ambassadors firing up, always plenty of things happening at STEPN. So it's more than just getting out, and GST was $10. It was $9.50. So that was obviously very uncontrollable. We can see tonight.
It was $12 on BSC.
Was it? This doesn't have BSC pricing, but there is a bit of a problem with BSC as well, though, because it's quite hard to earn, because you've got to level up sneakers to be able to use them.
Yeah.
So there is that little bit of change, and obviously I'm sure that's going to be considered going later on down the track, potentially using sneakers too. But Yorn, Jerry, thank you for your time as always, and for people, I think Yorn will answer a few more questions after. 2,500 on stage, so obviously there's a lot of people fighting out there and trying to follow it and see what's happening. But do we have a daily active user count? Have we cracked the 500,000 yet?
I think we cracked 100,000 users online at the same time.
Yes, we did.
Oh, we did. Okay, great.
There we go, 500,000 daily active users. Thank you, Jerry. I know you love giving us that one.
I've become the one that very sort of.
Yeah, you dropped it. You dropped it hot last week. You just told us it was good. It's cool. The transparency is there from the team, but they've again, for the transparency, they've told us that if they're going to need to make these changes and adjustments to make sure they control the coin so it doesn't get unachievable, and make sure it's long term. But thank you, Yorn, thank you, Jerry, and thank you everyone for coming along, and have a great weekend. Remainder Sunday